Okay, hi guys. Welcome to week 5. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday weekend. Feel a little rested and rejuvenated and ready to jump into week 5. So I just wanted to make a quick clip as usual to just walk you through the kind of main highlights and goals for this week. So let's jump into module 5, week 5. Um, and take a look at our assignments. Really quickly, just as a quick reminder, um, this first page you see in every module, really, if we go up, we'll see it at week 4, we'll see it at week 3 at the top. That first page is where you should be looking to see what the requirements for the week are. And then, of course, you should also be reading all of my announcements and watching these videos so that it is clear as far as what is expected for the week. Had a couple of questions about that, so just wanted to make sure that is clear. So if we click on week 5 assignments, that's going to take us to our welcome to week 5 page and let us know what we need to be focusing on this week. So this week, we want to make sure that we are reading chapter 5 in the textbook, and then you're going to review the lecture slides for chapter 5, and then I also have some lecture slides on APA style. I'm going to get to that in just a second to let you know why that's there. It's kind of related to Lab 3, but you'll see that Lab 3 is available now. It's not going to be due until 2 weeks from now, but I wanted to make it available for you because I know that you guys are starting to form your groups, and this is actually something that would take you a decent amount of time to complete. So it's available now so that you can start looking at it and start getting an idea of what your topic is going to be. And then if you have not done so already, your real main task of this week is finding a research group. So this is a link to the discussion page where you guys can start chatting with each other, getting to know each other, reaching out, and attempting to form groups. And then the last thing that we have this week is you have your chapters 4 and 5 inquisitive quizzes that are due. So also a reminder about inquisitive quizzes. Again, you're going to see on this weekly welcome page which ones are due each week. But as far as accessing them, just a reminder from week 1, you're going to find these in the first module here of week 1, right on this page. Okay, so week 1 module, all inquisitive assignments. And you click on that. And then it asks you to click here to load it in a new window. And then that takes you to all of your inquisitive quizzes. And you'll see here also the due dates listed here as well. Okay. So just a quick reminder of where you can find those. And then the due dates are listed on the inquisitive page. The reminders will be on the weekly pages, the weekly welcome pages, and then you'll actually also see the due dates on your actual syllabus. So if you take a look at our syllabus, which I actually have here, because I'm going to refer back to that in just a minute, you'll see Inquisitive Chapter 3 was due to 7. Inquisitive chapters 4 and 5 due to 21. So all of those due dates are also listed on the course outline of your syllabus. This is the last couple of pages of your syllabus. So just a quick reminder of where you can find those due dates. Okay, so let's go back to week 5 assignments. All right, so first and foremost, if you have not done so already, because you can't do Lab 3 until you have done this, is you need to find a research group. Some of you have already started. I already have some of you who have reached out letting me know that you've formed groups. Fantastic. But as you can see, this is a nice space for you to chat, get to know each other, talk a little bit about yourself and say, hey, this is me, I'm so-and-so. This is how I work. These are, some things about me that would make me a great partner, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of you have done a great job. This is my little, you guys are awesome shout out, because I really love seeing how quickly a lot of you jumped into this. But use this page, okay? Use this page to get to know each other and um, find people to work with, because I don't want to have to put you into groups. I mean, in the end, if we end up with people where we don't, have a group, I'll probably reach out to you and just kind of, say, hey, what's going on? I noticed you haven't formed your group yet, just to get a little bit of insight into what's going on. But I really don't want to have to put you into a group, because I feel like it should really happen organically. You really need to take ownership of this project in that respect. And it, allows you to feel confident in the decisions you make, all the way through, in terms of choosing who you want to work with and, choosing how to work together as you proceed through. So please make sure that this is your priority for this week. I really should be hearing from most of you, by the end of this week, early next week at the very latest, with your groups kind of solidified. And then again, thank you to those of you who have already done that. Okay, so find a research group. Once you have found a research group, the next step is going to be completing lab 3. Okay, so lab 3 is your topic proposal. And I'm going to open it really quickly just to kind of show you what it is that I'm looking for. So at this point, your labs are all going to be done as a group. Okay, there's no more individual submission of labs. So you're going to choose somebody to submit this on behalf of your group. And then just make sure that all group members' names are listed. So the idea here is to give me a general proposal for what it is that you want to do your research project on. So you're going to both write a research paper, and you're going to create a poster to demonstrate your findings, but you're going to conduct the research yourself. So this is a large amount of work, but what I want you to understand is that it's going to be done in chunks throughout the semester. So don't get too intimidated. Not only will it be, you working together as a group, but I'm going to be here every step of the way. Any questions you have, any concerns you have, reach out to me. We'll set up a Zoom, whatever you need to do to feel more comfortable moving through. Also, I'm going to be giving you guidelines for every single section of this project. Okay. So just to get an idea of what you're going to be expected to do, you will have to produce an APA, academic research style paper, and a poster. So in this lab, you're going to give me all the group members' names and their email addresses. You're going to give me in general what your topic is going to be. Why did you pick this topic? What's the purpose of this study? And how will this information help society? Like, what's the point of doing this research? Because we always want to have an important purpose behind the research that we do. What is it that you plan to manipulate? What's your independent variable going to be? So the first thing to understand is that all of your studies are going to be done via an online survey system called Qualtrics, and I'm going to walk you guys through all of that after we have the chance to kind of meet and set up your studies. But you need to start thinking about how are you going to ask questions and gather data within the limits of an electronic survey. Okay. So start kind of brainstorming that. What will you measure? What's going to be your dependent variable? And then what's your initial hypothesis as far as what you expect to find? And then last but definitely not least, you must also complete this group project contract. So this needs to be submitted with Lab 3. Okay, so fill this out on your computer. You can just click on it to download, and click here. It'll download it as a document file. Fill this out, and then you're going to upload it with Lab 3 as well. Okay, so what are you filling out in this contract? So again, give me all of your names, first names and last names. Tell me 3 things that you all have in common, and what are some common times that you're all available to meet to work on the project. So it's clear that you guys have started brainstorming when and how are we going to be meeting with each other on a regular basis. And then breakdown of the project. Okay, so this project, again, involves a lot of work. However, you should be helping with every aspect of the project. But it's a good idea to have a leader for various parts of it. So what you need to do is identify who is going to be the leader for each of these different parts. Okay, so introduction, methods, results, discussion, abstract and title, etc. Disregard this. Sorry, it looks like I forgot to update that. Obviously, we're not meeting in class, so you're not going to have to print any final draft. You can delete that. My apologies. And then who's going to hold primary responsibility for or oversee the following poster tasks. And again, broken down into the different sections of the poster, and then a little bit extra for creativity, artistic direction, etc. And again, I apologize, delete that out. Ignore the bringing the final version to class. And then any other tasks that you can think of that you think are important to identify and delegate at this point. Okay, and then last but not least, you're going to put in all of your group members' names and then save that and upload it. Okay, so in order to be able to fill this part out, what you want to do is take a look at those APA style slides that I posted back on that welcome page. So let's jump back there for a second. Okay, so APA style. APA style, this is essentially a PowerPoint presentation that's going to show you all the different sections of writing an APA paper. Okay, so before you say, oh, I can do the literature review, or I'm really interested in writing the methods section, go through this and get an idea of what each of those sections are. Okay, so first you're going to have just kind of general instructions about writing and appropriate ways to write. Again, like writing in the first person is not appropriate, general information, okay? But then we get into the major sections, okay? So we have the abstract, the introduction, the method, the results, discussion, references. So if you know, like, okay, I'm a person who I want to get, the biggest chunk of my work out of the way as soon as possible, and I'm a really good writer, and I I'm really good at kind of summarizing articles. You might want to sign up for the introduction. If you're somebody who is really good at writing details, you're very detail oriented and you're good at describing things, you might want to sign up for the method section. Okay. If you are someone who is good with statistics, you might want to go and take over the results portion. And then if you're somebody who is again a good writer, you're really good at kind of drawing conclusions and making connections between results and, what those results might mean. And you're also okay with doing a little bit of a bigger chunk of the work towards the end of the project, then you might want to sign up for the discussion. Okay. So get an idea of what these different parts of the paper are, and then decide if you want to sign up and how you're going to delegate. Okay. Then there's just more information about different parts of the paper, more detailed information about each of them. So the abstract, introduction, method, results, etc. And then your references page. Okay. So go through this PowerPoint to get an idea of what the general expectations are. I also would recommend not necessarily diving too deeply into it now, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself. But you can also check out the chapter, it's actually not a chapter, it's just a section in your textbook about presenting results. And that gives you a really good understanding of what an APA style research paper and poster presentation entails. So you can find that under modules, going back to modules, and it's actually its own link in course materials, the very first module. It's this link to the ebook. And I think it's actually a link to just a PDF, I'm pretty sure. Does it open in a new window? Yes. Okay. So this is another great resource. Sometime, I would say in the next 3 weeks or so, you really want to read this thoroughly. You want to go through this and make sure that you have a decent understanding of what it means to write an APA style paper, research paper, and then also go through the section closer towards the bottom that talks about posters and presentations. Let's see if we can get, okay. And they give you, see, they give you a sample paper and give you, notations to help you understand, what we would do or how we would do things in specific ways. Let's see where here we go. So this is the section on preparing posters. Okay. So again, maybe briefly kind of skim this week, and then in the next 2 to 3 weeks, start really going more into detail. And then especially when you decide like what you're going to write, or what you're going to, I should say, what you're going to take ownership of, look deeply into those sections. So the results section, the methods section, etc. Check this document out. I believe there's also a way to access it in the ebook itself. But take advantage of this document. It's a really, really beneficial resource that gives you pretty much everything you need to know for writing this paper and creating the poster. Okay, so going back to lab 3, I want to revisit this now so I can give you a couple examples of what you might submit. Okay, so topic proposal. All right, so at this point in the semester, we've gotten through chapter 3. We should start to have a really solid understanding of what an experimental research design is, what independent variables are, what dependent variables are. And so this is where you really want to start thinking of the kind of study you're going to conduct, okay? What I do want to say is that we are going to keep it very simple, okay? We can get very fancy. It's very easy to get very fancy, but what you want to remember is that the fancier you get, the more work you're going to put on your shoulders. So as far as I'm concerned, all I really care about seeing is one independent variable with 2 levels. Okay, it really is in your best interest, especially because we're online, we're asynchronous, we're in the middle of a pandemic. It's really in your best interest to keep it as simple as possible. So I'm going to ask you to limit your study to measuring one independent variable and only measuring 2 levels of that independent variable. Okay, so what does that mean? Let me give you an example. Okay, so let's say I'm interested in finding out if trucks are perceived as being more masculine of a vehicle than sedans. Okay, I'm interested in seeing like how do people perceive these cars. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a study to where I will have maybe a picture of a guy, like somebody maybe it's your brother, whoever, somebody who's willing to, take a picture for you, actually take 2 pictures for you. And I'm going to take his picture standing in front of a truck, and then take his picture standing in front of like a Toyota Camry, like some random sedan. Okay. The independent variable here, the thing that is manipulated, is the car, right? The type of car. All right. And then the levels we have are the 2 different types of cars. So my independent variable here is type of car, and the dependent variable, the first level of the independent variable is a truck, and then the second level is a sedan. So I'm going to take a picture of the same guy, wearing the same outfit, preferably on the same day, in the same pose. Everything is the same. The only difference in these 2 pictures is the type of car. Okay. And then I'm going to show those pictures to 2 different groups. One group is only going to see the picture of the guy in front of the truck. The other group is only going to see the picture of the guy in front of the sedan. And then we're going to ask questions that indicate masculinity, that are asking participants to indicate, whether they think of this guy as being masculine or not. So for example, we might ask them, like we can set up the story and say, like, Joe is 20 years old and he is a college student. He comes from a family with 2 siblings, and he's very excited about pursuing his college education this year. Leave it kind of simple. Nothing too too suggestive in terms of masculinity, but then we're going to ask them questions that refer to masculinity. So we might ask a question like, does Joe seem, or please rate how likely Joe is to get into a fight. Please rate how likely it is that Joe watches sports regularly. Please rate how likely it is that Joe likes to engage in hands-on activities as a builder. Like questions that are typically associated with masculine traditional gender roles, right? And then we see if there's a difference. And that's going to be the dependent variable, right? We're going to measure the difference between participants' ratings of Joe based on whether he's standing in front of a truck or whether he's standing in front of a sedan. Okay, so this is a basic example of a very simple study that we could conduct. We have one independent variable. So if this was my study in my lab, I would be saying, my topic is perception of masculinity based on type of car, or perceptions of cars being rated as more masculine or feminine. And then the purpose of the study is to have an understanding of, how people perceive different types of vehicles, or how people perceive others who drive certain types of vehicles. And then what I'm manipulating here is, again, the type of car. So my independent variable is going to be the type of car that's presented to participants. And then my dependent variable is going to be the measurement of masculinity, right? The ratings that participants give of this guy's level of masculinity. And then our initial hypothesis, this is actually a study that's done pretty regularly with pretty common results. Most people in society do rate men who drive trucks as being more masculine than men who drive sedans. There's all kinds of market research on this done by automotive companies, so it's pretty well known. So your initial hypothesis would probably be that, we're going to find that people rate Joe with the truck as being more masculine than Joe with the sedan. Okay, so hopefully that helps give you a little bit of clarity as to what I'm looking for in this lab. But again, please don't forget that the group project contract must be submitted with this as well. And that it's not due. Remember, this is not due until February 28th. So we still have some time. This is just to kind of get the wheels turning. Okay. Okay. So let's go back for 1 minute to our chapter 5 module, week 5 assignments. Okay. We covered everything here, I believe. Okay. Let's go back to the module itself because I want to point out a couple of things here too. Okay. So each week, you find supplementals, right? So we have our flashcards, we have our interactives, and then sometimes I'll have other lecture slides. Like for example, I have the scales of measurement lecture slides here, and then I have a scales of measurement worksheet. Some of you might have noticed that I did this in chapter 3 as well, I think. Yes, so I put a worksheet here identifying independent subject variables and dependent variables. And this is just kind of extra stuff, guys. This is extra practice. You don't have to turn this in. This is just for you to have some supplemental material because, again, being asynchronous, you know, there's a lot of stuff I would say in the classroom that I just don't get the chance to say or go over. So I want to give you as many opportunities to practice this content. So you're going to see that in chapter 5 as well. So we have a scales of measurement lecture slides. This is just another PowerPoint from previous classes. Please ignore the what we're going to cover today. That's obviously from a previous class. Ignore that. But just gives you another source of this information that you're getting from chapter 5 this week to help you have this sink in. Just another way. We all learn very differently. Sometimes wording in different formats is easier for us to comprehend. So go through these slides and kind of glance at them, and if you feel like it helps you, great. If not, don't feel like you absolutely have to study them deep down. You should be getting what you need from our actual text slides and the textbook itself. And then there's another scales of measurement worksheet and another worksheet here you can do. Again, you don't have to turn it in. If you want to send it to me, if you want to email it to me and ask for some feedback, I'm very happy to do that for you, to go over it and give you that feedback. But these are not assignments that need to be turned in for points. These are really just extra practice if you feel like I'm not really quite grasping this. I'm not really totally understanding this concept. Okay. Okay. And then the last thing I wanted to go over is meeting up with me. So if you guys take a look at our syllabus, let's jump back there. That's not our syllabus. Where'd our syllabus go? Somewhere. Here we go. Okay. So if you jump back to our syllabus, you're going to see that we're going to start signing up for meetings with me. This is after you guys have solidified your group. Okay. So you must have a group formed by this point. So really, yeah, the sign up sheet's going to be posted next Monday. It's going to be on Canvas. You're going to have to select a time. It's going to be a first come, first serve. So you want to log in Monday morning, find that sign up sheet, and then sign up for the time that works best for you. It's going to be over 2 days. So it's either going to be the 25th or the 26th, which is the Thursday and Friday, I think. So that Thursday and Friday. And then I haven't quite solidified the times yet. I need to check with my husband to see what his days are like. So we're not shouting over each other in Zoom meetings because that's so much fun. So I'm going to work out those times, but start anticipating okay, we're going to need to meet with Professor Sabat on Thursday or Friday of that week. I'm gonna try to make it during the day, but chances are it's gonna be in the evening because that's when I like 100% know my husband is free to watch the kids. During the day, it's a little bit harder to navigate, and kids come and like bang on the door, and I want to make sure that I'm giving you like my full 100% focus. Okay, and so what this meeting is essentially going to be is just discussing your topic proposals. Okay, so we're just discussing lab 3. All right, so we're going to be meeting before that's due. So if you haven't totally solidified it, don't worry. That's kind of what the point of the meeting is I want to have a chance to sit down and talk with you all, and actually finally get to see you guys and chat a little bit, but mainly focus on these topic proposals. Okay, so we have a good solid understanding of what we're going to be doing in our research project. Okay, so um, yeah, the main task is get in a group, guys. Find a group. We got to get that done, I think, by this weekend at the very latest. And then log in on Monday. I'll have a reminder video up for you Monday morning as well. But log in Monday to sign up for those meetings, and then we'll chat and talk about it and start moving forward. I'm excited. We're getting there. Okay, that is about it for this week. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm here. I can set up a Zoom. I can chat via chat or email or inbox, whatever you prefer. But please don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, I want to make sure that everything is as clear as possible for you guys. Okay. All right. I will talk to you all soon. Have a great week.